Hello everyone, today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be telling you about my experience at the National Bakery School, which is the oldest bakery school in the world. I've just completed a BSc bachelor's degree in baking technology management at the National Bakery School, and I always get questions about the degree, why I chose the degree, what it's like, things like that. So I thought it would be easier to just do a video to answer all of your questions in one place. It's going to be split into two sections. So the first one is kind of the main questions I get asked, and then the second part is the tour of the National Bakery School and meeting a few of my pals and stuff. So one of the questions I get asked the most is why I chose to do the baking degree. I was on a gap year modelling and I realised how much I hated modelling, and I just wanted to do something that I loved, and it was between primary school teaching and baking. So I'd always put off the thought of baking because I didn't think it was a viable career option, whereas primary school teaching is like a safe job. And I had the realisation that you just need to do a career in something you love, because modelling was so unfulfilling to me. I wanted to do something that I absolutely loved, which was baking. To two different open days, I went to Westminster Kingsway. That actually isn't a degree, that was just for like a college, and I absolutely hated it. So I highly recommend going to the different universities and colleges that you want to check out, because I thought that I would want to go there the most. I had a really bad experience with one of the lecturers and the people that were touring me. I just got really like cold vibe from there. I just didn't like it. And then I went to the National Bakery School and I fell in love with it. I was like, this is where I need to be. And I was battling the idea of it because I was like, it's a degree in baking, like I have to pay loads of money for it. Is it actually going to get me somewhere? And then I was speaking to one of the previous students and they were telling me how the food industry is always going to be around, and there is so many jobs available. Like there are so many different areas that you can go into, whether it's like flavour analyst, or you can do technical, you can do product development, you can be a baker in a bakery, you can be a pastry chef, you can be a chocolatier. Like there is so much room for growth, and there's always, you can like hop around the different places to find what you want. And I was like, hang on a second, yeah, in my head there's the stereotypical job path, and this is like, I think it's kind of drilled into you at school. All I was taught at school was teaching, doctors, lawyers. You don't know the actual array of jobs out there. So I would really think if there's something that you love and you don't think there's a job in it, there probably is a job in it. So find it online and go to do a degree in something that you love. Who cares if it doesn't pay much? Do something that you love. So I literally got home on that Saturday from the tour and I applied. I did my UCAS application straight away and I sent it off because I was like, I know that's where I want to go. There are two places in the UK that offer the baking technology management degree, and that is UCB, which is University College of Birmingham, and the National Bakery School, which is partnered with London South Bank University. So I had to go through London South Bank University. I didn't actually get a chance to look at UCB, so I might have loved it, I might have hated it, but at the time I wasn't sure if I was going to continue modelling or not, so I thought best stay in London in case I do want to continue modelling, as that's like easy to get everywhere. I applied in the October, and in December I got an offer which said I need to get XYZ grades, but I'd already gotten those grades because at A-level I did sociology, media, drama and art textiles, so I had actually never studied food before. I think you just need to put in your application how passionate you are. Like I literally baked every single day. I loved it so much and I still love it so much, and it's all I want to do. Literally, I just love to bake. So in December I got an offer. Now I think now they've started to do interviews, but I didn't actually have an interview, I just got the offer, and then I knew I was going to the National Bakery School. So I started the next September. I'm trying to think if there's other questions that I need to answer, or like ones that I've always been asked. Oh, that was what I meant to cover. So I had never studied food before, and my school didn't actually even offer food, which annoys me so much because I think people really look down upon creative subjects, and it's one of my biggest bugbears. Don't get me started on it, because creative industries are I'm not even going to go into it, but people who look down doing creative things like the arts, drama, music, food, like they're such big industries. And think about it, if there was no one that did textiles, you wouldn't be wearing the clothes that you're wearing right now. If there was no one that studied drama, you wouldn't be able to watch anything on TV, you wouldn't be able to go to the theatre and watch incredible shows. It just really winds me up that it's like poo-pooed, and people think, the amount of comments that I've had from people being like, oh, you're doing a degree in baking, like that must be easy, da 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 da. It's the exact same as a normal degree. You still have to do a dissertation, you have written exams, you have theory, you have coursework, you have practical exams. There are many different things within the course. Now the course has changed a little bit, so the advice I'm giving probably might not 100% be applicable to anyone that wants to go now, because they've broken the course down to have like a nutritional side, product development like specific. The main bulk of the course is still the same, so it's broken down into the 3 years. You can do 2 years and get a foundation degree, or you can carry on for the 3rd year and get the BSc Bachelor of Science degree, which is what I did. So I explain a little bit more about the course in the tour, so I will not cover that bit right now, but I'll leave that to the tour bit. So one big thing about the course is that there are actually many different ages that do it. It's not just people who are fresh out of school. So if you are like 40 and you want a career change, I'd say feel free to come along, because I know that there were many different ages, and age is just a number. Like if you want to start a career when you're 60, you go for it. Who is stopping you? No one. I absolutely loved the course because it was something that I obviously love and I'm interested in, but there were aspects that I absolutely hated. For example, research methodology, which wasn't really very stimulating for me, but you have to do it. Business management, oof, I did not like business management, that again. So we had to do like a business plan and everything like that, and get a financial statement, and that is just not my brain. And I definitely think it was good to like, so you can appreciate the full flow of a business. If you're considering going into a career in baking, I would say go for it. There are so many jobs, people are always wanting bakers. There is barely anyone that is actually trained in bakery anymore, so it means the chance of a job is much more likely. I really want to say, if there's a career that you're like holding back from because maybe your parents don't want you to do it, or maybe you think that it's not a viable career option, or things like that, as long as you love it and you're passionate about it, don't worry what anyone else thinks. I know so many people judge me for going into career in baking, especially because I was quitting modelling and leaving modelling behind. They're like, you're going from modelling to baking. I was like, yes I am. I know I can say the same for every single one of my friends. Everyone will always be like, you're doing a degree in baking, like what are you going to do with that? The one big pro of the National Bakery School are the opportunities. They have so many things going on, so many good links to the baking industry, and they have so many good links to people in the baking industry. There are so many things for you to do, like different shows to help out. There were so many trips that I've been on that were just incredible, and like different bakery work experience placements. They have so many things for you, and I highly recommend to take those. It was a bit tricky for me because I commuted from home, so I live an hour and a half away, so I commuted in and commuted out, which meant that I couldn't do everything because it was a bit tricky if it was like just 2 hours or something. I would say that if you are considering living at home, you do still make friends because it's a practical course. One of my biggest concerns was that I was going to miss out on loads of things, but that is not the case because it is a practical course. You're with people like 24/7, so you really get to know them. If anything, and maybe it's a con, sometimes there's a bit of tension. You're with them every day. Let's call it a dysfunctional family because there are a lot of personalities, a lot of strong personalities, so sometimes they clash, and when you're like with each other from 10 till 5 in the afternoon, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't do this anymore. And because it's like you're go, sometimes you only have 10 minutes for a lunch break, you're like exhausted and you just don't really want to talk to anyone, and then you have to go home and do work, so people can get a little cranky. But other than that, I would say you're absolutely fine for making friends. So this is where we start our day most of the time, and this is the changing room, so you can do a little plan. This was my locker, so anyone, if you're coming to the National Bakery School, right here, get this guy, and you can have my legacy on. Joking, I don't have much of a legacy. So then, if you walk this way, for the whole of your first term, so first year, although the course has changed since we started, but for us, in the first term, it's just theory. So we did science, we did health and safety, and we did research methodology. So you don't actually do any practical in the first term. It basically sorts the wimps out from the people who can carry on the course, because if you can't do the theory, you're probably not going to make it through the course, because it isn't just baking. But come along, we can peruse on down. I have the toilets here, the girls' toilets, but I don't. And I think 60 people applied, and 40 people got on our course. Yeah. Something like that. So obviously, because it's practical, there are a lot less people on it, because they need to have that like one-to-one. So we're going to go upstairs now. This is the touch card. No one can get into the bakery school unless they have a touch card. And if you get in the bakery school, you can't even get out of it. Everything, I'm out of breath from walking up the stairs. So here is like the little staff haven. This is my favourite hot water tap. You've got hot water and cold water. It's beautiful, stunning. I'm really out of breath actually, hang on, it's just... And you do chocolate throughout the course. You do chocolate, confectionery, bread, business, obviously your dissertation and like research methodology, science of fermentation. There's a lot of things, so it's not just baking, and there is a lot more to it than you think, which I will explain a little bit later on. These are the hallways that I have glanced about in.
The giant beard that is Grace Boo.
Hi. So we've got the doors open now because obviously the lecturers have to open them. So come along and I'll show you the rest of the casa. Joking, this is not my crib. I wish it was, that'd be a lot of fun if it was. This is a lot of GDPR, so don't actually look. Wait, I'm going to set this way now. That is all about like baking society, conferences that we've had. So many competitions at the bakery school. There's always something to do. They are very good at extracurricular opportunities. We'll have to show them Andy.
Oh yeah.
The technician, is that what?
Yes.
And then we'll go into the chocolate room later. And here's the break room. We've shown you the break room before. This is where we have all our lunches. And obviously, because you can't go outside in your whites, so you're not allowed to eat outside and you're not allowed to be out in your whites. Which, by the way, if you want to know what we have to wear, we did get, ours was free, our whites in our kit, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they still are.
Most of the time they're free, but if they don't get sponsored, then they're not free.
Yeah.
So we get our whites, and then you also have your kit and your shoes, which mine are really dirty, don't look at mine. A few free books when we joined, which were really handy, don't throw them away. So come on, we have a lot of lectures. The whole first term is in. We have some guests to ask. Let's put the lights on.
Oh my god.
Oh my days. What are the? So this is where the lecturer would stand. We have the screen that comes down. Also got screens that can get into the bakery, which I'll show you in a minute. And then you find this was my seat for the whole time I was here. I always sat here. But then these guys, you kind of dotted around. So this is Amy. So Amy, I'm going to scooch in. So tell me a bit about your time at the National Bakery School. Tell me what went well on EBI. Like, what's something that you really enjoyed about the National Bakery School and something that you think, because I want to give like a balanced argument, something you think could be better.
I think that could be better. We're doing more cake decoration things, because we don't do that a lot of that here.
So like the sugar flowers. And
yeah, a bit more about that. Everyone would enjoy that a bit more, especially when we've got Jane.
Yeah, Jane.
She has the skills.
Jane is like sugar flower queen.
Yeah.
But there are loads of competitions, which is funny because we don't do that much for sugar flower, so it's weird that there are so many competitions for it.
And it's weird that everybody wants to do those competitions
when we don't.
Well, we don't do those.
And what was your favourite part of the course?
Making lots of new friends from different parts of the country.
The biggest thing that you would take away, is there like something that you're like, wow, I would have never guessed that, or I would have never known that had to come here?
I would have never known how to pull sugar.
Oh yeah, we did do pull sugar, but that was literally in the last week. We only did 1 week on that. Over here, do a little flash of Beth. She's currently going for the Junior Chocolate Masters.
She's going to be a Junior Chocolate Master.
We do have a really good chocolate room, which I can take you into now. Okay. Thanks guys. And this really big important thing, right here. Check in. We're in the chocolate room now. This is where the second semester of your first year, you do chocolate and you have a practical exam and you have a portfolio that you have to do. A written exam, oh my gosh, you only have a written exam for like tempering things, where chocolate comes from, because you learn about how chocolate's made. To be fair, I didn't know anything when I came to the course about chocolate, and I feel like chocolate's the thing that I've learned the most about, because you don't know it otherwise, and it's so fascinating. Something that I'm not the best at, but it's so interesting. So you've got the chocolate taps. This one's dark. We've got milk, and we've got white, and then you've got. It's very well equipped, I have to say. There is like basically everything you need, and you learn so much. We've done ganache. What? You want to say something about chocolate? Go on. Hand over to Amy.
Would Grace like to tell us the 3 types of main cocoa beans?
She would not like to tell.
In the first year exam.
Hey, I'm more product development, not really chocolate. But I've learned a lot, and I've managed to get through the course. So
So should you.
Yes, you'll be fine. Basically, there is a lot of written work. It's not just chocolate. I think that's what it is. Our lecturer is Barry Johnson, and he is the UK chocolate master, and came 7th in the world, 8th. 8th in the world. But he's really, really good at, like, his knowledge he's so knowledgeable in the field. So we get all up our knives and some stuff, although I don't think there's anything that I shouldn't show. This is like the little room when we do our chocolate theory, because they're like, we have to label. Oh, that's another thing in the portfolio. So you have portfolios for bread, confectionery, chocolate, and in the portfolio you have to have a label of each product that you've made. So like including allergies, when the best before is. You have to cost it, and you have to basically like write up how you made it, do like a recipe spec thing, and then you also have to do research each week on a different thing. For example, say you're doing showpieces, you have to like find some showpieces, find out how they did different techniques, that sort of thing. So these are some things that... So that was Beth's, the one who's the junior chocolate master. That was Beth's from Hotel Olympia. Oh my gosh, it's actually making me feel quite emotional. Okay, so let's go to the product development one, which is only second year that we use it, but let's go. Not allowed to call them kitchens here, it's bakeries. You get slap on your wrist if you call them kitchen. So this is second year, second semester. We have a whole product development thing, and each person gets a different product that they have to create. And we made an award-winning cereal bar. Not just any cereal bar, but I'm not going to disclose that information in case it's top secret. Joking.
Even though it was in a magazine and everything.
Yeah, it's one prize, is our cereal bar. Anyway, so you have to do, again, a portfolio. But the portfolio is more about the product and like what you created. You have to like track what you do each week. You have to label it, cost it, do a business plan for it. You have to make the product. And this is the room that we do it in. Prover, ovens, pastry grate, which we also use for bread.
We love.
Then you have your tables. And then you've got all different gluten-free flours, because obviously it's product development, flavours. But I personally, product development is like the thing I most enjoyed, and I love it, and I love developing new things. You have to like pitch the product, we have to do market research, we have to like set up a little thing, get like people to come in and try it and give them what they thought about it. So I love product development. I'm gonna get some bread now. So we're in the bread room now, and this is where in first year you do second semester in bread, and again portfolio, no written exam actually, you do the written exam in third year anyway. And second year, first semester, third year, first semester. So this is, you can pan out, we've got Pamela, the legend, this is Pamela, and then we've got Jay, also a legend. They're preparing for competition, as I said, always competition. And then we've got, again, the prover and the ovens, and this is the bread room. I also really like bread. Bread's quite a fascinating one, and there is so much to learn. I feel like bread, you're constantly learning, because there's always something, and there's something new, and like you learn about sourdoughs, fermentation, all the different sorts of things. So this is the bread room. Let's go back to the confectionery. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this has enlightened you, inspired you to go and do something you love. I absolutely love baking, and I would tell anyone to get into the industry, because there is so much scope for you, like there is so much for you to do and so many opportunities. I'd say that the baking industry is predominantly the older generation, and we need some newbies. We need some newbies in the baking industry. So go out there and smash it, maybe find an apprenticeship, maybe do some work experience. Please come join us in the baking industry. Thanks very much for watching.